We here.
Welcome to IDP Nation, the place for IDP and draft coverage. We are your hosts, Dan and Darrell. We have you covered for your LB1 year Texans squad. We are IDP Nation. We are back. It's once again IDP Nation. We are 9 days away from football, Darrell. How you feeling?
A lot better. Now that it's upon us, I feel good about it. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little worried.
Single digits. Yeah, a lot of the COVID, although, we mentioned it on the other on the lounge the other day that we were a little worried about possibly protests canceling games. In fact, Russell Wilson, I read over the weekend, basically said if they had a game over that weekend, they may have sat out in protest. So, I think that's, the other sports are back to business. Roger Goodell today announced that he's going to put some things in the end zone, end racism. And I can't remember the other one, but to try to.
Was it? I just seen it. What was it?
The one was end racism. I can't remember the other one. Flyers scored again.
Yeah, I'm watching.
It's still alive and kicking. Sorry.
Barely.
We need to bring hockey in every once in a while.
Yeah. You're going to be proud of me, but I've watched more hockey in this playoffs this year than I've probably watched my entire life.
Hockey's great. It's nice to be able – with no NFL preseason football, it's nice to have something to watch because –
Yeah, I'm kind of digging it, huh?
Normally the month of August is straight preseason. I'm watching preseason game after preseason game. The NFL Network shows them like 18 times a piece. You watch your, Kyrie blasphemy, run the ball for your Titans, for 20 carries.
Don't you dare badmouth my Titans. We will fight right now.
Well, you're not going to like me very much later, so we'll get that.
I don't like you now. That's where you're wrong. I don't like you now.
I got to find a way to cut down on the glare back here, but welcome to IDP Nation. And if you want to join the fun in our predictions, hashtag IDP Nation Predict, I think yes, IDP Nation Predict is the hashtag that you can use. This will be on YouTube a couple days normally after we record. If you want to follow my school schedule, it's here, by the way, too, Darrell doesn't like when we switch to this camera, which would cut that out, but, whatever. Maybe it's close up.
Hang on.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, we have things. We have some new sponsors that we will be getting. What was it too glary when it's up close like that?
How's that?
Too much glare? Too much shine?
Shine
too much turtle wax?
God, I hate you.
We were supposed to be a PG show here.
I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't
say not say anything. This will be on YouTube, though. But anyway, yes, join us on YouTube if you want to see some things. We do have something to show off here a little bit later. But we have some important news. My iPad's currently showing the Flyers game, so you're going to have to live without some sound effects for right now.
That's all right.
So what's in the news?
Our first piece of news, and I've actually found a few here. The big news is the Jacksonville Jaguars traded away Yannick Ngakoue to the Vikings for a 2021 second and a conditional 2022 fifth, which could be moved up to a fourth. I forget what the
no, it could be moved up to a second if the Vikings win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I didn't see that part. Okay.
Yes, it's a fourth. I think it's a fifth, and it's a fourth if he makes a Pro Bowl.
That's what I saw.
Third if he does something else, and then it's a second if they win the Super Bowl. So the Vikings win the Super Bowl, Jacksonville gets a higher pick.
That's pretty smart on there.
Or no, third, I guess. The second and the third if they get a second.
Yeah, they got a second this year, and then the conditional pick is next year, 2022.
Yeah, I guess it's a third if they win the Super Bowl. Is what the deal is. So Jacksonville's in full tank mode. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. They also cut Leonard Fournette this week.
That was crazy. I did not expect that.
Meetings. And I did have the TV on while the meeting's going on mute and up on the screen, and my phone starts blowing up that Yannick Ngakoue got cut by the Jaguars, and I'm like, what the hell?
You mean Fournette?
The reason – what's that?
Fournette, not Ngakoue.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Ngakoue.
Yeah.
But with Fournette, I heard that they released him that early in the hopes that somebody would come get him, come trade like a 6th or 7th round pick for him. But according to Doug Marrone, nobody wanted him. And he cleared waivers completely, so that's a pretty good sign that nobody wanted him.
Right.
Will he get signed? I'm pretty sure tomorrow he'll sign somewhere.
Yeah, I was shocked that they didn't.
The Bears need a running back.
Oh, yeah.
Bears would be a good fit, I think. People keep saying Seattle, but I mean, I don't see it.
I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that either.
They're more likely to bring Clowney back tomorrow than they are sign a running back. I mean, Carson's back. Carlos Hyde's, going to sub in until Penny can get back on the field. They drafted DJ Dallas. They have Travis Homer. Those aren't, extreme. Those aren't the Seahawk type of backs. I mean, Fournette does fit the Seahawk type of back. Power back, 30 carries a game type of guy. I don't see Seattle paying him what he wants.
I don't either. And to get back where we kind of started with Ngakoue, this is huge news for Danielle Hunter owners. It gives him a valuable bookend. He's not having to face double teams all the time. Really good news for him. I think it's going to be a definite upgrade over Everson Griffin, especially on the later side of his career. So good move by the Vikings. I mean, what they gave up really isn't going to hurt them, and they're not going to get a player probably of Ngakoue's caliber with that pick anyway. So good move by them. Interesting. Everybody kept saying, well, it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Took a pay cut.
He took a huge pay cut. He left like $6 million out there to go play with Minnesota. So,
and, you make concessions sometimes to be on a winner.
True.
He wanted out of Jacksonville so bad. I'm pretty sure any team that showed any interest in trading for him, he would be willing to go to. That's actually in playoff contention.
Right.
He makes that defense a lot better. Their corners are still the most suspect thing on their team, but you know what can help out corners a lot? That's where you're supposed to answer.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here.
That was a question. Do you know what can help corners out a lot?
A great pass rush.
A great pass rush, exactly. So if they can get pressure, the corners don't have to cover very long, and they can kind of play good defense. That front seven is pretty stout looking. It's again the secondary. It's going to be the big question mark, I think, for them. So who knows? One little side note here, and I don't want to get political at all, but I'm not endorsing anybody right now, but the Seahawks spent their Saturday practice session signing everybody up to vote. And I would encourage everyone to go register to vote so you can actually have your say in the election, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are on. I hear a lot of people running their mouths about politics, and it's funny how some of those people aren't registered to vote.
Very true.
So, again, I'm not going to get in a politics discussion here, but go register to vote so you can, whatever your opinion is, you can share it on election day. The Seahawks did that as a team to make sure everybody was registered. The NFL's got a big push about registering to vote, which, it's your civic duty to go vote. It's your job. It's your job as a citizen to go voice your opinion by casting your vote. But anyway, if you're not in the United States, then completely disregard the last 2-minute conversation because it has nothing to do with you. But yeah, we had some interesting comments about the last episode, by the way. User YYYY, I think it was, on Podbean, was listening, and he let's see if I can bring up the one thing. The one thing he cracked up about was when I made the comment that you don't strike me as a Hamilton watcher. I just thought that was funny that he picked that up to say. And I did send you that one, though. Can the guy with the southern accent stop burping and farting and being disgusting on air? And I've been trying to tell Darrell that for 4 years now.
Nope.
Jesus Christ. But anyway, the other big news. Actually, a couple pieces of big news.
Yeah, there is.
Now that we think about it, every time I stop and say, we got it all.
Yeah, I've got 4 more here. I think will cover everything. So we've talked about Ngakoue. That's pretty good. The Texans signed linebacker Zach Cunningham to a 4-year, $58 million extension. So that's going to keep him down there in Houston for a while. Love Cunningham down there. I think he's going to be one of the push into the top 5 this year for linebackers.
Stop the presses. You said something nice about somebody from the AFC South.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Show's over. We're going home. We're going to stop there.
It only goes down from here, I'll just tell you.
It does go downhill from here. Way down.
Yeah.
The next piece of news is big.
Well, if it's the same one. The Giants signed free agent cornerback Logan Ryan to a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. Still upset the Titans didn't at least try to bring him back. But that's huge for the Giants because they lost DeAndre Baker. They lost Xavier McKinney. They're thin already in the secondary, so he's going to play a big, big piece for them and a pretty cheap price for him. So that's really good for the Giants.
Gettleman must have been listening to the IDP Lounge on Friday night. I think we got a secret listener.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
We were telling him how trash his secondary was, and then he goes out and signs Logan Ryan. So,
hey, you can send me my cut.
We will take credit for that signing because
shoot, yeah,
because we were telling him his corners are trash.
Right.
His corners need a lot of help. I mean, and Julian Love is. I mean, I like that better because I think Julian Love can then play the slottish.
Right.
And then Logan Ryan can kind of play the slottish on the other side. You know, they can kind of split time at safety instead of one being a dedicated safety. Because I don't think either one are really a natural safety. I think they're more cornerish. But I mean,
right.
Go ahead. What's next?
And then, oh man, this just breaks my heart. Chargers safety Derwin James out 6 to 8 months for surgery on a injured meniscus, and I didn't even realize it when I tweeted it, but it makes so much sense. He become Keanu Neal 2.0?
I think it's just the Chargers are a snake bit because they can't get out of their own way. Like
poor Derwin. I mean, he's so good. He's so talented. And so was Keanu, but just to see them back-to-back years have injuries like that, that's just heartbreaking. And so many fantasy owners, I'm one of them. I have a ton of shares of him, and now I'm not going to be able to do nothing with him except stash him on a IR. So,
yeah.
Really disheartening.
It's a shame. You know, it really just – We talked about last year how deep they were at safety, and all of a sudden, they're not that deep. Adrian Phillips moved on.
Yep.
They have Rayshawn Jenkins, Nasir Adderley, Alai Gilman, I think, is the rookie they drafted. He might get some playing time. That's about it there. I mean, you could see Desmond King playing some safety possibly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a shame. And again, you got Jamal Adams and Budda Baker as your top guys. And I guess throw Landon Collins in there too. But yeah, that's a top tier of safety is just getting dismantled year after year with injuries.
Yeah, I mean, when I tweeted that 2.0, Keanu Neal 2.0, it's very eerie how similar, back-to-back years for both of them getting injured, both of them top 5 safeties at the time.
Well, at least Keanu Neal got to play.
Very true, very true.
I think James has both been in preseason or in off-season that he's
right.
Or he might have got to play last year. I don't know. I thought they were both in preseason, though.
He didn't play much if it was. I don't remember right off the top of my head. But.
Yeah.
And then our final piece of news, I found it just as you hit record. Jets linebacker Patrick Nwanse is out 4 to 5 weeks with a knee injury.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that really impacts a whole lot. I didn't see him as a starter anyway.
I kind of did. I think he's going to be that outside situational pass rusher for them because they don't have anything. I mean, they need everything they can get for pass rushing right now. So
maybe outside, I guess.
That's where I had him was outside. He's definitely not inside. No.
I mean, Avery Williamson seems to be solidified in that middle, and Blake Cashman, I've heard rumblings that he's probably the other guy. What do you think about before we move on completely, what do you think about the Cowboys practicing without numbers or names? Did you see that over the weekend?
I did not, but
they had their scrimmage, and to prevent any leaks, any reporting to being done, they didn't wear any numbers or names on their jerseys. So
is that because they're ashamed of who they got on their roster?
I guess they're being ultra secretive.
Why? Because somebody can't figure out that they suck right out the gate. I mean, just saying. Sorry, Waltner. Our good old buddy Waltner.
They're a talented team. I may not like them, but they are a talented team.
Okay, question. Does McCarthy make them better than what Garrett did? Does he take them further?
He could.
No. I said, will he? Not could he. Anybody can. Well, not
sure. All you got to do is win a playoff game, and you're better than Garrett.
Okay. I don't know. I don't
equal to Garrett. I think Garrett won one playoff game.
I think he did too.
Tenure there.
Yeah, I think it was one. I don't know.
You win one, you're already as good as he was.
True.
In 1 year. So,
but I don't think they advance any further than what they ever have. And I don't think they're the best team in that division, which we'll get to later. But.
Yeah, we will get to. There's a reason why I have them where they are. So,
okay,
we'll talk about it when we go over that stuff.
We will, Dan. We will talk about
it. So that wraps that up. I believe you have something to show everybody here. So if you are on YouTube and you maybe just listening to us, not necessarily looking at our beautiful faces, you might want to look and check out what Darrell's got up on screen here. And then we'll zoom in so you can see. So the shine is off of Darrell's head.
Yeah, and if you don't want YouTube, I will take a picture after the show and post it on my Twitter account.
And make sure you at IDP Nation. So
yeah, I will.
The people who don't want to follow you but want to follow the website, the podcast can.
Whoa. People don't want to follow me? What the hell are you talking about? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, you're slandering Derwin James, calling him Keanu Neal 2.0. I mean,
that's why I don't like you. You always be twisting my words around there, Rugrat. But anyway, hang on. Let me get, if you can see here.
Phineas and Ferb, not Rugrat.
Close enough. Our good friends at Trophy Smack, who I do have pinned to my Twitter page for all your fantasy rings, plaques, belts, trophies, whatever. They were gracious enough to send us a ring to show off for them. It says Fantasy Champion, has a big Lombardi trophy. On this side, it's got a football and says Champion. I know this is all over the place, and then on this side, it says Champion, has the NFL logo. Really heavy ring, really well made. Good feel.
Like a set of brass knucks, man.
It's heavy. You hit somebody with this, they're going to be JMF. They're going to be knocked out. That right there is
MJF.
That's happening. But yeah, so again, I don't know if you can see good.
And our code is IDP Nation, correct?
Yes, our code is IDP Nation. There's a link on my Twitter page.
I actually want to go to Hollywood's pinned tweet and click the link because that will take you to our special page.
And when you do that, you're not only getting quality merchandise, a quality award or whatever you want to call it, ring, plaque, trophy. That they have everything. Man, those championship belts they got are amazing. I can only imagine. But
for one of the leagues I win, if especially if I'm like a 2-time champ, or five time.
They definitely have good stuff. Really good stuff. Really impressed with them. Thank them for sending us this sample for us to show off. And it not only is it a sale, but if you click the link and buy something from them, it helps us at IDP Nation. We get a little bit of kickback to help cover our costs with podcasts and stuff like that. So, and we've already had a couple of people buy some things. So thank you. Appreciate it very much. Yes.
And I mean, you're gonna want to reward your winner of your league. So new leagues, you're looking for something to give. Not everybody has a trophy like you have sitting on your back shelf there that gets passed around to the champion.
Right.
If you're a new league, you don't have something like that. So if you're shopping around for something to give to your champion, you can get a custom ring. Maybe you just buy the winner a ring every year.
Yeah, and they have some nice stuff. I mean, they have the big trophies where you can get it engraved every year. They'll just send you a new little plaque, and you just attach it to it. They have the championship belts are my favorite. They are nice. The rings are nice. Trophies are nice, and they have even just regular plaques, and they're really nice. And if they're anything like
you can also get like pranks for like your losers, can't you?
Oh, we do. I do have something over here they sent for us. They sent it with the ring. By the way, kind of to get off.
If you're not into torturing your losers of your leagues, you can just send them something to remind them that they suck.
Yeah, they do have a little something for everyone. They have what is it? The toilet seat that says "I suck at fantasy football" and that you put around your neck. So they have everything you can think of. It's good stuff, good quality stuff, good prices. So go buy your stuff there and help us out and enjoy.
Absolutely. So today we are going to predict one of the things, the poll that closed. Nobody wanted us to really look back. 0 people voted for that. So we are going to spend most of our time looking ahead. Peter mentioned injuries. I think injuries we're going to hit hard on the IDP Lounge on Friday nights. We will talk about the injuries for the Thursday games. But looking ahead, mostly, I guess, looking at people, out possibly, looking at matchups. Thing about matchups, though, guys, and I'll my mantra with lineups is start your studs, and if you don't have any studs, then you play the matchups. But it's hard to get data on matchups until we played some games. So these first couple weeks, you got your top guys. You got your guys you drafted. If you drafted Trayvon Mullen over Isaiah Oliver, then start Trayvon Mullen because at the time you said, I want this guy over this guy.
Right.
Maybe you look at a more pass-happy offense than another one. But for the most part, you start your studs. Injuries happen. Bye weeks happen. Those things happen. And then you got to start other guys. It's really about the waivers. We were talking in the writers' chat. I don't know if you chimed into that conversation or not. I don't think you did on Sunday, talking about the massive amounts of articles that we'll be publishing at idpguys.org this season. There's going to be at least one article a day, pretty much, and sometimes 2. From what it sounds like.
And we're already rolling pretty deep with articles, and the season hasn't even started. So,
well, Johnny the Greek said he writes 3 a week himself. So, and then everybody else is chiming in with their stuff too. In fact, I had to kind of see, what can I write because everything's kind of covered. So I'll be touching on rookies, it looks like. And you do your stock watch, your stock report.
Yep, going to do that and a lot of other stuff. So, yeah, IDP, guys, is definitely where you want to check stuff out because we are pumping stuff out left and right.
I might even be writing about rookies on offense, too.
Wow.
Yeah, because
look at you.
I'll have to check with Sean about that. But yeah, hitting up the rookies, getting that stuff done. And again, waivers, start sits. Johnny's doing quarterback matchups. I forget. I can bring it up later. We can go over it before we go. But we are going to predict this week, so that way next week we can look forward to week 1, go through the matchups. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear us pick the games, or you don't care? We'll I guess, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. Do you care if we pick the games or not? It's kind of something fun for me and Darrell to do. Maybe we'll just house it on like ESPN or something. Or Yahoo. We'll just click our picks in.
All right.
And, keep track of it that way instead of maybe spending a lot of time on the show going over that stuff. But definitely looking ahead is what we will focus on. Looking at the weekend, we'll look at the matchups and look at big names to keep an eye on. Some big matchups to take a look at. Definitely.
And one thing that I did see, someone asked or commenting on the poll, they wanted to see more about snap counts. So we'll try to get that in there too. I mean, I think we did some of that last year a little bit.
Snap counts on Tuesdays can be hard.
Yeah, it's rough. That's a case where if we do the snap counts, I think we're looking back at the previous week.
Well, yeah, you can't predict. I mean, you can, but you really can't. That's kind of looking backwards. For snap counts, guys, honestly, we'll take a look at who's playing more than somebody else, and we'll take a look at that stuff. Honestly, the articles that Johnny writes, he writes a 10,000-word article about playing time, basically. Johnny's
a beast. He's a beast.
Yes. And then, some other people in the industry write about snap counts for defense as well. That's a big thing, and it is a big deal, and we'll talk about that definitely. But Tuesday night, that information isn't always readily available.
Yeah, it's a little early in the week. I know we record early, so it's a little hard for us to get that information that early. So,
stupid Flyers, 3-3.
Stupid Flyers. Well, that's what you get when you root for those Philly teams. I'm just saying.
Where's your Nashville Predators? Oh yeah, they've been out of the bubble for weeks.
See, that's just what? That's just not nice. That was uncalled for. There was no sense in that.
It was called for. It was perfectly called for.
No, it was not called for.
It's called, you make a comment, I'm going to make one back. I'm a man. I'm nearly 40 years old. You're over 40. Right. By the way, this has nothing to do with our predictions. One of the guys on Last Chance U is playing at Tusculum.
Oh, really? Who?
I think his name was RJ. Or no, it wasn't RJ. Yeah, it was RJ Stern, wide receiver.
And he's playing at Tusculum now.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys are playing this season, but he was going to Tusculum according to the Breakfast Club-like last scene where they tell everybody where they're going.
Well, that's just an hour east of me. I'll have to check that out.
There you go. Yeah. It was an interesting season. It wasn't really as there's not a lot of drama. The team wasn't that good. They did have one guy is going to Oregon State, Rayshawn Wright. His brother plays there already. I can't remember his brother's name. Wright's last name. He starts for Oregon State. And obviously they're not playing college football to start the season, but he's going to compete for another starting job. And then the other kid is a walk-on at Hawaii, who I don't think is playing. Dior Walker Scott was the wide receiver. And then there was a lineman that is going to play at somewhere in Kentucky. I forget what the school was, but it's Division II school, I think.
Cool.
So it's a good show. If you enjoy football, it's a good show to check out because it does kind of show you what some of these kids are, doing to try to make it to the next level, the D2 level, the D1 level. So it's pretty cool to check that out. But anyway, we're going to get into our predictions. We're going to go over our defensive leaders. Some of us are pretty boring, and we copied off of me. Somebody copied the homework off of me.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, whatever.
We got some offensive guys. We'll get into some offensive awards. We did that last year, like MVP, offensive rookie. The all-pro team, we're going to stick to the defensive side. I don't think you care what we think about the offensive side of the all-pro team.
Right.
And then go through the division predictions, which is always fun because we like to piss each other off, looks like. And we also have a new sponsor, the sandwich in between there.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Great
sponsor. So starting off with defensive leaders and true to form, tackle leaders, I put the maniac, Darius Leonard.
You did.
And you, true to your word.
See, when I first did that, I put down Darius, and I was like, I'm gonna try to be.
Let me not be a copier.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. I was like, I'm going to change this up a little bit, but I do think these two are going to be really close.
I think if Leonard plays 16 games, it's not close because
it's going to be close.
Machine.
I know he is, and I agree. He's probably going to be the league leader in tackles, but Blake Martinez is going to give him a run for his money.
Yeah, he'll be over 100 easily.
Yeah, I expect both of them to probably hit 135, 140. I can see both of them hitting that real easily.
Very well could. So, yeah, I mean, they're both going to be LB1s. I don't think there's really any risk. It's funny, the next one, because you railed me for picking him in our mock draft, I think. When I picked Chandler Jones to lead the league in sacks, I think you told me that Danielle Hunter was going to lead the league in sacks. Why the change of heart here?
I think they're going to be close. I think we can all agree Shaq Barrett is not leading the league again in sacks. That's just not going to happen. He's not getting 19 and a half.
I would agree with that. He will be, if you read my predictions about the NFC South, I think he's a double-digit guy.
I do too, yes.
I just don't – he's not going to get close to 19 and a half.
Yeah, and I wrote a piece on him this offseason too. I can see him in that 12 to 15 range maybe, but I don't think he's hitting 19 and a half, approaching 20.
I mean, he had a really good season, but, teams are just going to be game planning to stop him because he's really their only pass rush weapon. I mean, Jason Pierre-Paul is getting up there in age. I don't think you need to double him as much.
Right. The one person they do got a double team down there is Ndamukong Suh, just because he's such a force inside. But
and Vita Vea, that they had success. If you look at that, team, statistically, they have a ton of IDP studs on that team.
Oh yeah,
I mean their corners are solid guys to pick up. I mean, because they seem to be always on the field.
Yeah, right.
Good, but they're hoping that maybe Tom Brady can help move that offense and cut down on the turnovers, which is really what killed that team last year is the turnovers.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Those interceptions and fumbles that Jameis Winston had, if you cut those in half, that helps tremendously right there.
Yeah. So I think Chandler Jones is the guy. I think Chandler Jones is set up for success there. I mean, they have a lot of weapons on that defense now. And Chandler Jones, he's getting up there in age, but he's still probably one of the best pass rushers at the edge position There is.
Yeah.
No comment.
Not
no
for
comment
now.
on the edge. Okay. Interceptions. I thought about the guy you picked. I went with Tre'Davious White. If you look at the teams that he's going to play, I think there's a lot of opportunity for turnovers. So I'm going with Tre'Davious White to be the league leader in interceptions. He's a good ball hawk. He still gets thrown at, and he's still productive for IDP, even though he's a really good corner. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you test him too much, he's going to make you pay. Your interception leader was
Marcus Peters. He's always among the league leaders. One of the best. If you get return yards in your league, he's one of the, if not the best returner. I just think he's going to get he's going to get those at least 5 or 6 interceptions again, which should put you pretty close, if not close to leading. So, I mean, anytime, and he's had 5 or more every year except 1 year. So, it's kind of hard to root against him. I think Patrick Queen's going to help him. They're always going to be playing from the lead, so teams are going to be throwing a lot, trying to play catch up a lot. So, I think the opportunity's there. So, hard to root against him.
Yeah, and I like that pick. I don't know that they're gonna get thrown on enough necessarily. So I thought about him, but again, just not. I don't think he's gonna be a league leader. But we'll see. I was pretty terrible at this last time we did this, so.
One outside shot at interceptions will be Kevin Byard. He's opportunistic. Always seems to be among the league leaders in picks. So if you want one that's kind of a little bit more of a outside shot, I think he's the guy. But I like our guys. I think definitely Tre'Davious White, Marcus Peters. I think you got to put Stephon Gilmore up there, Kevin Byard. I think those 4 are probably your best shots.
Yeah, they're good. I thought about a couple other guys. I thought about Ward from Denzel Ward from the Browns.
I just don't know that he's going to get targeted enough. I think with greedy shoestring Williams being out a little bit, I think they're going to avoid Ward.
He's a good cover guy, though. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's some other guys I thought of, but Tre'Davious White, I think, is the guy. I don't think Stephon Gilmore is going to get thrown at. I think people have learned their lesson about that.
Well, we thought that last year, and he still wound up with 6 picks and defensive player of the year. So, I mean,
that was just stupidity. That Patriot defense was ridiculous. That Patriot defense, however, took a huge hit in the offseason, losing.
Yeah, they did.
All the talent, which I'll get to my shock pick later. So let's move on to some offense and some players of the year. For league MVP, I see the Chiefs returning to form offensively. Mahomes was banged up a little bit in the middle of the season, which kind of hurt some of his numbers. I can see him leading the league in touchdowns again. That offense is moving. Edwards-Helaire gets added to an already electric offense. So, yeah, I like Mahomes to be once again league MVP. How about you?
Yeah, that's a good choice, but I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. I just think his overall game with his running ability, I think they're going to be on a bit of a mission this year since they got put out by – who was that put them out last year? I think it was Tennessee. Yeah, so they're going to be looking to getting back to the playoffs and challenging the Chiefs for that AFC championship. I do think whether it's Jackson or Mahomes, it's going to be one of those two are going to be your MVP.
MVP is normally a quarterback award.
Yeah. And I think it goes, because of your playoff success too. I think you got to be a playoff team, at least kind of a contender type deal. So,
I mean, there have been guys that have not made the playoffs and still won MVP, but those are few and far between.
True.
And I don't think anybody that's not making the playoffs is going to be in the conversation.
Right.
Offensive player of the year, I have Mahomes winning that too. I think he's just going to be far and away the best player.
Now, this kind of ties into what we were just talking about. I've got Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to put up absurdly ridiculous numbers.
So you don't know the word regression?
I do, but even with a little regression, he's still going to put up massive numbers. I mean, they're going to need him.
I can see him being about where he was last season. I did the NFC South. He's still an RB1.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's the RB1 is going to be a big question. There's some other guys that could take that.
I think they're going to run him into the ground, pass him into the ground. They're going to need him, and he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. I could see him being Offensive Player of the Year, but I just don't know that the Panthers are going to make any kind of a playoff push, and I think that keeps him out of the MVP.
I think
race.
Teddy B. One thing I'm worried about with Carolina is their ability to stretch the field.
Right.
And without that, and they have some speedsters. They have some quick receivers. It's just a matter of, Robbie Anderson, I guess, is their deep threat. But can Bridgewater make that connection down the field is my biggest worry. He's never really been that guy to launch downfield. Like, how will this offense look without any preseason games? And I know they're normally vanilla and you normally don't see anything anyway. Right. What's this offense going to look like? Are they going to run through Christian McCaffrey? Like Ian Thomas, is he going to be an impact player? There's so many question marks about Carolina and what they're going to look like on both sides of the ball. I can't wait till we see some football so we can start seeing what these things look like.
Oh, yeah. Just a little over a week and a couple days. We'll.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know how you didn't put this guy as your sack leader, but you have him as Defensive Player of the Year. That doesn't make any sense. If you lead the league in sacks, you're on your way to being Defensive Player of the Year. So you pick the guy at the same position. I picked Chandler Jones because I think he's going to lead the league in sacks and he's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year because with those sacks come the forced fumble opportunities, the fumble recovery opportunities. You could make an argument that Darius Leonard could step in there being the tackle leader. But you picked who?
Yeah, I just think Hunter, he's going to challenge Jones. I took Danielle Hunter. I think he's going to challenge Jones for that sack lead. Jones may beat him slightly, but I think Hunter's overall season, I could see him getting 100 tackles again. That's pretty big for a defensive end if you can get 100 tackles. I think his overall game, and I think Minnesota being probably a better team and probably going further than Arizona, I think that kind of gives him a little bit of a heads up for Defensive Player of the Year.
I was about to say that. Is it because he's on a better team that you think he'll get the nod? Because
I think some that people helps. I think they're both going to. I think they're both going to be close in sacks. I think both of them is going to be 16-19. I really see that. I just think Hunter's going to have more tackles, probably more on a better team, like we said. I'm surprised neither
one what? You broke up a little bit there.
Neither one of us picked Aaron Donald. I thought one of us would pick Aaron Donald.
Last year, he had kind of a disappointing season.
Yeah.
Rookie Offensive Player of the Year. We both went with the quarterback, Joe Burrow, going to start probably all 16 games pending health. And normally that, again, if you're a quarterback and you do halfway decent and don't fall flat on your face, that's normally an award you win. I think one of the running backs would have to become, Christian McCaffrey to take the reins. It doesn't look like any one of those guys. Edwards-Helaire could possibly if they give in the workload. I was watching Inside Training Camp, and according to the Kansas City coaches, blitz pick up and pass protect, he's been doing pretty well. So it's not like he's That's normally the big test for a rookie. Can you protect the quarterback when you're asked to? And he seems to be doing pretty well in practice. So, I know practice and games are two different things, but he could challenge, I think, Burrow, but I think the quarterback always kind of gets the nod with these things if they're close.
Yeah, and I don't think Tua's going to start right out the gate, so I think that kind of takes him out.
I think the best thing for Tua would be to redshirt this year and just –
I do too.
Get healthy, get the playbook down, practice.
Yep.
It didn't hurt Patrick Mahomes any sitting a year, and Patrick Mahomes perfectly healthy.
Yep, I agree.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting your rookie quarterback for a year. If you want to throw him in week 16, go for it, but I don't see any reason to or game 16. I don't see any reason to rush him out there. Let him come fully back from his injury. I mean, he's practicing and things now, but let him heal, man. Let him get his confidence back. Let him practice and get to know the playbook and all. Defensive player of the year, I have Patrick Queen because I think he's going to be one of the top tackle guys in rookies. The top tackle guy in rookies.
Yeah, I like that pick. That's a good one, but I'm going to take the beast Chase Young. I see him on that Washington front four, man. Everybody's talking about it. I just think they're going to be too good. And
does he hit double digits in sacks this year? Does he hit double digits in sacks this year?
I think he does. I think he gets 10 to 11. I think he's right there at I'll take the over. I think he's in that 10 to 12 range. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, if we go by
a couple games where he maybe gets 2 or 2.5. So I think he has a couple games like that really puts him over that.
If we go by Max Crosby's 9.5 sacks last season, at the over-under, he's over, you're saying?
Yeah, he's over. And the reason I think he's got a little bit better team around him, I mean, if Kalin Farrell had done anything at all really to kind of help, I think Crosby's numbers would have been over 10 too.
Sure. If Kalin Farrell could have played better, he would have probably gotten 9.5. I think he's a big bounce back.
I mean, I do too. I just think Chase Young with Montez Sweat and Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Kerrigan, I just think too for everybody to kind of double team, and he's going to have a really good. I mean, Montez Sweat had 8, I think it was last year, and Chase Young's a little bit better player than Montez, so I like it. 10 to 12 is where I would put him.
All right.
Yeah, 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
We are going to kind of pause there, and we are going to introduce our new sponsor. So this episode is brought to you and sponsored by Blue Chew. Take it away, Darrell.
Yes. So guys, you remember the days when you're always ready to go, no matter the situation, the time, whatever. Well, now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue.
And Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Yep, you can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. Go out to dinner, get you a big steak, baked potato, a couple beers. You can still take one. And since they're chewable, they work up twice as fast as a regular pill, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Maybe she gives you that wink, you're ready to go. Maybe she says, go ahead and get the check. Guess what? You're ready to go. So if you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance.
And Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package.
And best thing, they're made right here in the USA. And since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. No awkwardness, and you don't even have to leave your house. You can sit around, you can watch your sports, your NBA, your NFL, whatever your NBL, and you can have them delivered right to your door. So right now we've got a special deal for all of our listeners. Go visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment. Get this, Dan, free when you use our special promo code IDP Nation.
Wait, we're giving away something free?
Oh yeah, it's free. All you got to do is just pay $5 for the shipping.
So you got to use our special promo code, which is IDP Nation, and pay the $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUE like the color, chew.com. Use promo code IDP Nation to try it free. And it's the better, cheaper, faster choice. We thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help make this podcast possible. Again, we do have some costs that incur with the podcast. So you help us cover those when we get our sponsors. So please be sure to use our promo code IDP Nation at BlueChew.com and check out our new sponsor. I know Darrell's been chomping at the bit all day to say that promo.
Yeah,
I was curious as to what he was going to say and how much editing I'm going to need to do, but
I was ready to whip this one out, ready to go here. So
just take Blue Chew. Hey, you can be ready.
Yeah, I mean, just picture it. It's the end of the fantasy season. You win your fantasy league. You get that big payday. Take mama out for dinner. You can
picture it. The Flyers are tied 3-3. They score a goal. You can.
Yeah,
right there.
Maybe she's a Flyers fan and they score a goal here in overtime and win this thing. And guess what? If you had your Blue Chew, you'll be ready at the drop of a hat. So
there you go. Getting back to our predictions here, I predict the Flyers win. We'll see if that happens. I guess you all will know that result tomorrow. I might still be sitting here waiting and watching hockey. We have our all-pro team on defense.
I won't be, obviously.
So we were pretty boring here. We both have Aaron Donald and DeForest Buckner. We both have Chandler Jones and Daniel Hunter.
Yep.
We both have Darius Leonard, Blake Martinez. The only difference is I have Wagner and you have Cunningham.
Yep.
We both have Gilmore and White.
Yep.
And we both have Jamal Adams. The only differences here is I'm Team Buddha and you're Team Collins.
I wanted to put Derwin there, but fortunately the injury I had to change. So
if you put him there, that's definitely an L for you. See, Buddha Baker, and this is something I heard. I was watching a bit of their scrimmage on Sunday morning, and Buddha Baker, this is the first time in the NFL that he's going to play the same defense 2 years in a row. And they're actually giving him more to do. They want him to do more. And he actually knows the defense a bit better than he already did. So, he already led the league and he already led safeties in fantasy points. What more can he do with knowing the defense better? I mean, if that's what he does without knowing the defense, then I'd hate to see what he does when he does know the defense.
Right.
Not saying he didn't know the defense, but you know what I mean. With
Did you just call him dumb?
A year under his belt in that defense to become more acclimated to it. Landon Collins will be switching defenses a bit. So
a little bit.
And that front seven, I don't know, man. I mean, the linebackers are a little suspect. That front four is
dead. But you got that front four, and then you're going to have Landon Collins cleaning up back there. Man, I'm telling you, all they need is just decent, adequate play out of those linebackers.
And an offense.
Well, that's another story for another day, but
and neither spoiler alert. We don't have the Washington football team. I almost said Redskins.
Yo, you almost did it.
We don't have the Washington football team making the playoffs. So
no, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
You're not going to go there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there.
So getting our predictions, and I decided to go with a little shock value right off the bat.
You did. I saw that. I was like, what is he?
I was gonna switch this around so I could save that for like last, but I'm just gonna go right off the bat. The Patriots, A, aren't making the playoffs. And B, the Bills aren't winning the division. The Miami Dolphins are winning the AFC East.
Yes, folks, I will have him drug tested after the show.
Most of my picks are pretty chalk. So I wanted to go with one that was at least a little off the rails.
I hear you.
So I picked the Dolphins. I think I love what Brian Flores has been doing. I've been saying this all offseason. I love the defense he's built.
Right.
Their edge guys are a little questionable. But their offense, I mean, if Fitzmagic can just be Fitzmagic and not turn the ball over 100 times, I think they'll be a good offense. They beat one of the best teams in the AFC down the stretch last year.
They did.
They helped the Ravens get that 1 seed, which didn't do them very much. But
yeah, how'd that work out for them?
It didn't work out well, but it kept the Patriots playing at home.
All right.
So you picked the chalk pick for the AFC East. At least I think it's the chalk pick.
Yeah,
it's who I was going to put there, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the Bills are in a prime position, with all the uncertainty around the Patriots. I do like your Miami pick. I do like that. I do like what they're doing down there. I don't think it's this year because I think they're going to need another year, especially if they sit Tua, like you mentioned. I don't know that that'll happen, but if they do, there's going to be a learning curve. I think they're another year away from being a good piece to contend for that. So, I mean, hey, if it works out, then that's a big feather for you. But I just think the Bills are the front runner.
There's always a team that comes out of nowhere, though. If you think about it, there's always a team that comes out of nowhere to make the playoffs or win a division that you never thought was going to happen.
There is. I just don't think it's going to be the Dolphins. I really don't.
Yeah. So you're going with the Bills. The West and the North is pretty chalky. The Chiefs and the Ravens. I think the Chiefs and the Ravens are far and away the best 2 teams in the AFC.
Right.
The Chiefs, with their passing attack, their defense, they didn't really lose anybody of note. I mean, if they did, they replaced them pretty much. I mean, they might have lost a corner, but I mean, I think they'll be all right. I don't think the Broncos are close enough to make a run. I don't think the Raiders are there yet. I don't think the Chargers are full rebuild. So I think the Chiefs definitely. The Ravens, I can see the Browns being better this year. I don't think they're a playoff team.
No.
Steelers, I do have as one of my wild cards. I also have the Bills as a wild card team. So the runners up, I think those 2 teams will be the 5 and 6 seed and not too far away from the Ravens. I mean, if Big Ben stays healthy, that team was pretty good without him last year. If they had a semi-competent quarterback, they would have went a little further. Right. They could have been playoffs. Ben's arm is feeling better, and that offense clicks when he's there. But the Ravens' rushing attack, and they've improved their defense. They saw what the Titans did to them last year, and they addressed it with some stoutness in the middle on that line. So you picked the Ravens as well.
Yeah.
You have the Steelers as a wild card team as well, so I think we're on track there. I think the Browns get better. The Bengals may improve from being the worst team in the NFL, but they still got some time to go. I think they got a couple more years, but maybe a year or 2 away from competing. But I do think Burrow will make them at least not a laughingstock.
Right. I agree with that.
Moving on to the South, and here's where I piss off Darrell.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
I got the Colts winning. Oh, Flyers win. Still alive. Staying alive.
I done flipped over to Vancouver and Vegas, man. I done stopped watching that Philly stuff.
So. But anyway, I got the Colts. They They're a good team. They have a solid defense. They had the maniac there. Their offensive line is one of the best in the league. They have a three-headed monster at running back. Phillip Rivers, if he can just manage the game, he doesn't have to do anything crazy.
Right.
They can win a lot of games ugly. And in the AFC South, that's what kind of happens is the team that wins the division normally wins ugly. And I think the Colts can do that. I think the Titans, they're going to be knocking on the door. The Texans are going to be there too. I think the Texans got worse this year, though.
Yeah, they do.
They just don't. I mean, Watson, you can't count him out, I don't think, but
right.
I don't think they're just as good of a team. I think they lost a lot.
Especially when they traded away DeAndre Hopkins. That really hurt them.
Well, yeah, that's the big piece. I mean, their receivers, they have good receivers. I don't see any of them being a game changer, though, when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, Will Fuller can't stay healthy. I don't want to count out Deshaun Watson, but, I mean, does David Johnson have anything left in the tank?
I think he'll be all right, but I don't think he's going to be that.
He's not going to be an RB1.
No, not at all.
So, I mean, you have the Titans. Obviously, you think they're going to just pound the rock with Henry.
Yeah, I think if y'all keep telling me that Tannehill's the goodness down there, so and as long as he plays like he did last year, then that's what they need. That allows Henry to run and do what he does. So they complement each other well. They've got a good defense that's expected to be better than it was a year ago. And there's Jesus Christ. See, we almost made it. We almost fucking made it. Almost. But I'm just going to ignore that comment. But they're the defending champs until somebody knocks them off. I'm going with them. I'm like you. I think
the Chiefs are the defending champs until somebody knocks them off.
Not in the AFC South, they're not. Don't be twisting my words. I'm like you. I just think Houston has lost too many pieces with Hopkins. You don't know what you're getting with J.J. Watt.
You don't have anything to say about the Colts. I picked the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be second. I really do. I can see Houston slip into third. I think that division's going to be a beat 'em up, bang 'em up. I don't think nobody's going to run away with it by any means.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Phillip Rivers' arm necessarily. But
I'm not either.
I think he is good enough to do what he's got to do to keep them in games. I mean, he could definitely lose them games in the last drive because he's done that with the Chargers for years. But
right, and they have some good pieces around him,
T.Y. Hilton. Their rushing attack is what's going to help them the most because they have three very capable running backs, and they can pound the ball.
Yeah,
all they have to do is pound the ball, and they can win. They can win games. Get behind Big Q, the Big Uglies.
Yep, and DeForest Buckner is going to help them a lot.
Yeah, we didn't even mention DeForest Buckner helping out that front line.
Yeah, that's probably their biggest pickup more than Rivers or anybody else's. Buckner. That really kind of scares me for my Titans because he's a beast. They're really, you're going to have to account for him, and if you're focusing on him, what does that let you do with Darius Leonard? So, I think they're going to be. I think them and the Titans are going to be 1 and 2. I see Houston slipping, and then Sucksonville, they're just down there at the bottom because they can't keep players and they don't know what they're doing, and they probably just should go ahead and move to England because that's the only people that like them. So,
well, during a pandemic, you can't move to England.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Jacksonville's doing. It's like they do want to move. Like
I don't know what they're doing, dude. I have no idea.
I mean, I guess what's the term? Tucking tail for Trevor. Is that what they're doing?
Man, if I was Trevor and they drafted me, I'd be like, you know what? I made a mistake. I need to go back to Clemson for another year.
Well, I doubt he'd want to do that. Moving on to the NFC, we'll come to our championships later. But you had these Steelers and Patriots. I had the Bills and the Steelers. So I have the Patriots missing the playoffs again. You could mute your mic before you do that kind of crap, you know. Especially when I'm talking and you're not. Moving on to the NFC East, I got the Cowboys. And this is where earlier you were alleging you have the Eagles. And I'll tell you why I don't have the Eagles. I don't have the Eagles because their offensive line's beat up already. They've lost 3 guys on the offensive line before the season's even started. Carson Wentz is already banged up. Rager's beat up. Jeffrey's on the pup list. The defense, there's a couple guys that haven't even practiced in a couple weeks. They have so many injuries piling up, and the season hasn't even kicked off yet. Meanwhile, the Cowboys lost McCoy, but, I mean, that's the only real loss that they've had on their team.
I get it, but I just don't have faith in them. They've always been the more talented team in that division, and it's gotten them nowhere, really.
They haven't always been. They have 3 top-flight receivers. They don't even need a tight end. They got a good offensive line. They got a good run game.
Exactly. They've had Elliott. They've had a dominant run game with that offensive line. They've had Amari Cooper. They've had Gallup. They've had Prescott. They've had Witten. They've had the pieces to win, and they've failed every time. So
it's Mr. Claps. He lost the team a while ago. Jerry Jones should have fired him a few years ago, probably. But
should he have even really hired him?
I don't see why not. I mean, he was your, offensive guru. He ran good offenses. It's just his head coaching didn't really work. That's why with the Giants, I don't mind the hire as an offensive coordinator.
Right.
I just don't think he should be a head coach. There's certain guys that are good coordinators, terrible head coaches.
Right. I agree with that. But I mean,
not everybody's cut out to be that head guy. I mean, there's different coaches in the league that succeed at doing different things.
I mean, they had a good team last year, and Philadelphia backdoored their way in. So, I think Philly's good. I think Philly's the team to beat.
I don't think they are. To bring up my point, Gus Bradley, great defensive coordinator, not a very good head coach.
True.
So, I mean, you got guys that are good at being coordinators, but when you give them the whole keys to the car, they're not that great. The West, I think it's between these 2 teams, and I think the Seahawks edged this year because of the Jamal Adams trade and the fact that the 49ers wide receivers can't stay healthy to save their life. So I'm going with my Seahawks.
That's fair. That's a homer pick. I did it. So
It's a bit of a homer pick, but I think that Jamal Adams trade is them saying they're all in. Now, they would have went out and got Ngakoue too, then I would say they're really going all in. But I think they are all in. Like they signed, they traded for him for a reason. That was one of their biggest weaknesses in the secondary. They brought in Quentin Dunbar, who's a pretty solid corner. He's 10,000 times better than Trey Flowers.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, I mean, you have actual, second corner on the team.
Right. Yeah. That helps.
They made small moves to help their secondary, and that's what they needed because really when it came down to it, their secondary was their biggest liability. Part of that is lack of pass rush, which they're still faced with. But according to you, Darrell Taylor is
I'm telling you, you're going to like him.
Problems.
He's going to help you out.
He's got that man not sure, and he's going to solve all the problems.
That's right.
You know what movie that's from?
Oh, I should. I just can't think of it right now.
Idiocracy.
Yes.
We got this guy not sure.
All right.
He's going to solve all the problems. We're going to kill him.
How funny.
That's President Mountain Dew Camacho, 15-time SmackDown champ. So you're the Niners.
I did. They're the
Did Joey the Tooth pay you to make that pick?
No, but he should. He should. He owes me. I just think they're going to be coming off of that so close last year Super Bowl run. I think they're going to be motivated.
You know what happens? The Super Bowl runner-up every year.
I do.
They don't make the playoffs. I have them as a wild card just because I think they're a really talented defense, and I think their defense can carry them.
I still think they win that division. It's going to be close. Seattle will make it close. I think whoever wins the series between those two is the actual winner. But I think San Francisco's defense really sets them apart from everybody else.
Here's the one thing that concerns me at the 49ers as a team, and trying to look at this, not as a biased Seahawks fan, but
right.
When it came down to crunch time, Shanahan did not want the ball in Garoppolo's hands. He wanted to ground it out. He did not want Garoppolo being the guy to make the throws because he didn't think he could make the throws. And meanwhile, in Seattle, you got a guy, Russell Wilson. When the second half rolls around, they say, "Russ, save us." And they give him the ball and say, we need you to bail us out again, because that's what normally happens. So, I just look at the confidence in the quarterback, and there were people murmuring that they were thinking about bringing in Tom Brady. I know they're murmurs, and that never happened. It never came to fruition.
But how close was that really close to happening?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think Shanahan believes in Garoppolo.
If they didn't believe in him, I don't think he'd be there.
I think he's good enough to run their run-heavy offense. But like I said, when it came down to crunch time, what did they do?
Right.
Same thing you can say about the Titans. When it came down to crunch time, what did they do? They ran the ball.
Because that's what they're good at.
I know that's what they're good at, but
I don't think you can. Well, I don't think you can compare San Francisco to Tennessee.
I don't think they're the same teams either, but they both have good defenses. I think they don't want their quarterback to be put in a position to have to win the game.
Right.
Like they're both the same in that respect. Is they don't want their quarterback to have to go win it. They want to have the game in hand, which every team does, obviously. But
yeah, I get that.
NFC North, we both got the Vikings.
Yes.
I think that last piece.
Yep.
Even if they re-signed Everson Griffin, I think I still would believe this. I don't think the Packers are as good as they have been in recent years.
Nope, I think that window's closing.
I think that window's just about closed.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is still pretty good, but he's not Aaron Rodgers of a couple years ago.
I'm with you. I think the Ngakoue piece was a huge piece for them that kind of just solidified and pushed them as the front runner. And
the one thing is, though, I will say is the Vikings do need Jefferson to be healthy and on the field.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
If he's not healthy and on the field, they're going to struggle offensively a bit, which, their defense can still pick them up. But I still think the Packers have too many issues. I still have the Packers making the playoffs, but I think they're the 6th seed.
I think that's a weak division, so it gives the Vikings a leg up.
Detroit, I think Patricia's getting fired this year.
Sorry, Nate. Sorry, Johnny.
Well, Johnny's a Cowboys fan, so you should be apologizing to him for.
Yeah, I am apologizing to him because he's a Cowgirls fan, so that's just even worse. At least Nate, I was telling him the truth that he already knew. Come on.
I think Patricia's getting fired.
Do you really?
Yeah, he's had 3 or 4 years and he hasn't done anything with the team.
If the wheels completely fall off, I agree with you. But I think if he's
fired after this year.
I don't know. I'm saying next year, but if it goes really bad,
he's going to be the first coach fired.
Oh.
I think everybody in Detroit would agree with me.
I don't know. Oh.
I think they're sick of him trying to do things the Belichick way when that doesn't work all the time.
He may get fired, but I don't know that he'll be the first fired.
Who else is going to get fired?
Adam Gase?
Well, that's a possibility.
Bill
O'Brien, who's going to fire him himself?
God, I hope not. I hope they keep him forever. And I hope he keeps trading away the best players he's got. You go, Bill O.B. You are the bomb, man.
So, and the Bears, I don't think – they don't have a quarterback. I mean,
God help them if they don't start Nick Foles.
Foles is not going to lead them anywhere.
Neither is Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying they don't have a quarterback.
Or Triscuit. That makes me think of Triscuits. The
fact that they can't say that Foles has far and away beaten out Trubisky for this job tells me all I need to know, because they now don't have a running game because Cohen's their gadget back, basically.
Could they sign Fournette?
I think that's the most likely landing spot because they're the team that needs a running game and a coach that, the seat's getting a little hotter in Chicago, I think.
For Nagy, yeah.
He's not the one that said, give me Trubisky, though. I mean, that's
true.
That was the GM's doing.
Well, how about this? How about they're just giving Trubisky every opportunity to prove them wrong that he is the guy, and they're just playing it down to the wire.
They didn't really help him too much. I mean, Ted Ginn they signed, but that's not really giving him help. He has good receivers. I mean, they drafted 15 tight ends this year, so.
Right.
But anyways, moving on to the South, I have the Saints and Drew Brees in Drew Brees' final season, winning the division. You have
I pulled one of your stunts. I wanted to go out there a little bit, so I'm taking TB12 and the Bucks.
Have you watched the NFL Network?
Actually, I have not. I've been so covered up at work, I've not had a chance.
You'd see nothing but wall-to-wall Buccaneers coverage.
Oh, really? Don't be a hater. You've been a hater of him forever. Don't be a hater. They got the former 24/7 champ down there. How can they not win?
There are 31 other teams that deserve more press than the Buccaneers, but because Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski are there, they got to have their cameras there and talk about them 24/7.
Don't be hating on TB12.
I'm not hating on them. I'm hating on the NFL Network's obvious bias of.
See, I've not had a chance to see that because of work, but yeah,
they need to cover the 30. The NFL Network wants to be fair and biased. They need to cover all 32 teams equally,
right?
And I don't care if it's boring TV. You cover each team. You don't just spend your entire day talking about Tom Brady. You watch Good Morning Football. It's 5 topics about Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and Bruce Arians. And then you just watch Inside Training Camp, and they're all like, oh, we got to go to Bucks camp.
Right. I get that. I get that. If that's the case, then I do understand that. I just kind of pulled one of yours. I think the Bucks have a good chance. Is this year that Drew Brees falls off? You got the little Kamara situation going on down there.
I think that'll be fine.
I think they will be too, and I think it's going to be close. If the Bucks win, it's going to be close. I think the Saints are they would have to have a couple bad games not go their way or whatever, and the Bucks would have to be, I think, play perfect for the most part. I think both of them would have to be in that 10, 11, 12 window. I'm excited just to see. If nothing else this year, I want to see, was it Belichick or was it Brady? Was it both? And we'll know this. If the Patriots win like nobody's business, then we know it was Belichick. If Tampa Bay comes out of nowhere and does this, then we'll kind of think it's Brady. If they both fall flat on their face, then we'll know it's kind of both, Well,
that's what I got happening. I don't have the Patriots or the Buccaneers getting into the playoffs. And I think it has more to do with the Buccaneers. They'll get close. They'll be in the hunt. But
and I know it won't happen.
Tom Brady is a 42-year-old quarterback is just not what he was. And
I know it won't happen, but how great would a Patriots-Buccaneers Super Bowl be?
God awful.
That would be great.
I'd rather see your prediction, except for the other team winning. But
Yeah, whatever.
So the wild cards, I had the Packers and Niners. You have the Saints and the Packers. So, I mean, we have basically almost,
same teams, except Eagles, Cowboys were different.
Eagles, Cowboys, and Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah, Bucks.
Is pretty much the only difference. You don't have the Seahawks in, so.
Oh, I don't, do I? Oh, shoot.
That's why I don't feel bad about the Colts now.
You know what? I completely missed that, and I'm going to change that right here.
You are, huh?
I am. I'm going to change that because I'm taking the Packers out. I'm going to take the Packers out and put the Seahawks in. I didn't even realize I'd done that. Sorry, Dan. I didn't even realize I'd done that. I was looking at divisions, and it just completely slipped my mind.
The AFC champ, I have the Chiefs being the AFC champ. I have them going back to the Super Bowl. I just think they are the best all-around team. The Ravens give them a run for the money, which was your pick. I'll kind of spill the beans there. You have the Ravens going to the AFC Championship, and I honestly think it's a coin flip between the two teams. Can Lamar Jackson learn to be more of a balanced offense quarterback? Because you saw what happened when Tennessee stifled their run game. They couldn't pass. So
Tennessee definitely had the blueprint for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they stopped the run and in turn stopped Lamar Jackson from being productive. Can he develop a little bit more as a passer? He's pretty prolific as a passer last year. I mean, he had a lot of passing touchdowns and things, but when the tough gets going in these tough defensive battles, can you make those throws in the clutch that he failed to make against Titans, basically? Right. And Mahomes was the defending Super Bowl champ. I mean, I think they're going to make it back. I think the Niners will make the playoffs despite the Super Bowl hangover. But you have teams like the Rams. I mean, the Cardinals are even an improved team. I don't think they'll be there, but I think the NFC West is quite possibly your most competitive division. I think the NFC South will also give a little bit of run. I think Carolina is the only team in that division that isn't going to be top dog. But yeah, there's a couple divisions that are really stacked with talent. I mean, I think the NFC West is the best division. I'm not just saying that as a Seahawks fan. There's a lot of competition there. Cardinals getting better. Right. Rams reloaded a bit. They lost one of their big offseason draft picks, though. So they're a little leery. And the Niners, again, are defending NFC champs. NFC Championship, I have the Seahawks winning. Like I said, I think that Jamal Adams trade and the acquisition of Quentin Dunbar really propped them up. I think they probably make some kind of pass rush signing between now and the end of the season and help bolster that a bit. Either it's bringing back Clowney or...
They got to bring Clowney back, right?
They can at this point.
I'm surprised he's not signed. I mean, we're what, a week away basically, and he's not signed.
Yeah, who needs training camp? And you have the San Francisco 49ers as the NFC champs, defying the hangover effect.
I do. I think they can do it. I think they have the defense to do it.
And we both have the NFC winning. I have the Seahawks winning. You have the 49ers winning.
Yeah.
So I just think the Seahawks get lucky against the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs really lost that game or won that game because of a third and long to Tyreek Hill. And
I tell you what, if
Chris Jones and Frank Clark dominating the second half of that game.
If Seattle can sign Clowney or get that pass rush going, then I like them a lot better. But that's where my hang up with them is, just that pass rush. I mean, I know I like Darrell Taylor, but you can't expect a rookie to come in there and just be what you need. He's going to need a little time. They're going to have to get a Clowney or something like that. Trade for somebody. I don't know who, but they're going to have to get some kind of piece. That pass rush for me is kind of what did it for me. I love their offense with Metcalf and Wilson and Carson and Lockett and you got Greg Olsen. I know he's about done, but he's got so much experience, can do it.
He was tweeting out the other day that somebody was making him look old.
Yeah. I mean, I really like what they've got together on offense. I just think the 49ers defense, even though they lost Buckner, they're getting Kinlaw, and they're not losing any other pieces. I just think that defense, and it shows in the NFL. I mean, Tennessee showed last year, if you can run the ball and play defense, you can go a long way. And I think
Seattle could do that too, though.
Yeah, but like I said, that
pass rush is what's scary. They don't have the front four the 49ers do.
Right. I do like Jamal Adams. He's going to help you guys a lot.
If you're playing the 49ers, do you need a front four to put the pressure on Garoppolo, or do you need a run-stopping team?
True.
So, I mean, I think they're fine without, pressuring Garoppolo too much. I mean, I think they get into one. I think Jerron Reed is going to have a good bounce-back season.
Reed will be good. Poona Ford's a good backup. Darrell Taylor will be good. Rashawn Green's a good piece. Bruce Irvin will be okay. I think Jamal Adams comes down and gets you a few sacks. I think it's going to be a committee approach as far as pass rush.
It probably will be. Takes a team.
It does. It does take a team. For me, the deciding factor is that 49ers defense. I just think they're a little better, especially up front. So
team on me, team on three.
Okay.
Come on, man. You got to get into that football, man. Training camp mentality. So that about do it. I guess one thing we did not mention today, we mentioned a couple other sponsors, but we also want to mention myfantasyleague.com.
Absolutely.
I'll be spending a lot of time on myfantasyleague.com with my roster cut downs, my IR moves, my COVID moves. All of that stuff, apparently, we have to worry about.
Some potential roster or position changes from our buddy Gary Davenport.
Yeah, he said there's not going to be a bunch.
No, not a bunch, but there could be a few.
Especially since there was no preseason.
Right.
I think Logan Ryan is probably one that we can assume to a safety. I've heard DeMonte Casey mentioned as a move to safety. Those aren't in stone, obviously, because they haven't been announced. But I think those are the two big name guys. I think the rest of the guys are pretty much safe. I mean, there might be a few minor moves here or there.
Right.
So we will see when they come out. Check for our timelines. We normally take a picture and retweet. But that'll about do it. Anything else for the people there, Darrell?
No, I think covered everything. I mean, when you win your championships on My Fantasy League, and you will win your championship if you're listening to us here at IDP Nation, be sure that you get yourself something nice and pretty from our guys at TrophySmack.com. And, when you get all that big payday from winning the league, you can take mom out for something to eat. And, you can help us out with our other sponsor, Be ready with Blue Chew, Just lock and load, and you'll be ready at the drop of a hat.
Yes, sir. And that'll about do it. Check out our Patreon page. Become a patron today.
Yes. Love our Patreons.
We encourage you guys to post your picks, your predictions, so we can revisit those. And we'll be getting some stuff with that. Remember, hashtag IDP Nation Predict, and give us your predictions. That'll be about it as far as this goes. Good night now. We will see you all next week when we're getting ramped up for Houston at Kansas City. Thursday night. Ring ceremony. That'll be outstanding.
Yep.
Go Hawks.
Tighten up.